Well, I want to welcome everybody as they're coming in. We're going to get started in a few minutes, but I can see our participants are just spiraling up. So, what you see in front of you is a QR code. I'm Dr. Schran, Chief Medical Officer here at Connect to Recovery, which is part of our Riverside Community Care. We're going to be talking a lot today about this whole theme that we have of we get better together. Recovery is not something anybody does on their own. It is absolutely a team effort, although the most important person is that one single person who is there in recovery. So we get better together. This is our sixth year in a row that we are doing this, and I am so grateful to all the participants who have been helping us. Today, we have some very interesting themes. We have some remarkable guests, but what you see in front of you is a QR code. If you could please scan that QR code, you'll see a series of questions that relate to different brain science in regard to substance use. If you could just imagine that you are a sixth or seventh grader seeing these questions perhaps for the first time, but just answer them the best you can. Because after the presentations today, you'll get a chance to answer the questions again. And we're very interested to see how much people learn. You'll understand this as we get into the main theme of today's show. But I am so grateful that everybody is here for our recovery celebration. We Get Better Together, the sixth annual event. In a moment, I'm going to be introducing Kim Fisher, who is our Chief Behavioral Health Strategy Officer here at Riverside Community Care. But we're going to pop that QR code up again, give yourselves a chance to answer the questions, and then I will turn it over to Kim Fisher, our wonderful person who has helped actually recruit me over here to Riverside, our Chief Behavioral Health Strategy Officer. Kim Fisher, if you are there, you're on.
Thank you, Dr. Sharon. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kimberly Fisher. I'm the Chief Behavioral Strategy Officer for Riverside Community Care, as Dr. Sharon mentioned. I had the pleasure of starting Connect to Recovery 5.5 years ago, just days prior to the start of the pandemic. It's absolutely incredible to see how this program has grown. You will not find a group more passionate, open-minded, dedicated, and skilled. Having lost a partner to addiction in 2007 myself, it is not lost on me how much impact our coaches have each and every day. Today, you'll hear stories of triumph over this disease as we hold up the voices of recovery. Some of the young adults in Drug Story Theater that you'll hear from today, Dr. Strand and I had the pleasure of working with when they were teens in active addiction. Some of the staff from Connect to Recovery and other programs at Riverside were once people served by our programs. Today is a celebration. We celebrate recovery, not just in September each year for Recovery Month, but each and every day for those who are here and to ensure that those who are not have not died in vain. People can and do recovery. People can and do recover. We get better together. It is my pleasure to introduce Alan Meister, Program Director of Connect to Recovery.
Thank you, Kim. I wanted to note also, Kim, you were the one who recruited me to Riverside as well. So you had a big hand in all of this. My name is Alan Meister, and I serve as the Program Director for Connect to Recovery here at Riverside Community Care. Connect to Recovery is now in its sixth year of providing peer and community supports to individuals that need an extra helping hand. The theme for this year's recovery celebration, as already stated, is we get better together. We believe here that recovery is best done in community. As a program, we come alongside persons with substance use, mental health, and justice involvement concerns. Often when individuals are dealing with these types of life challenges, they feel ashamed and alone. They don't want others to know that they're struggling with these things, so they try to cope by themselves. This leads to increased isolation and more shame. Our navigators, peers, and coaches understand this vicious cycle. Many of them have experienced these same things in their own lives. Using their lived experience, our staff provide a gentle approach to meeting persons where they are, developing rapport and trust to begin to build connections. When these individuals begin to trust, connections start to form. These connections become cornerstones that can be built upon for continued growth and recovery. Sometimes that growth is reflected in connections to resources like primary care doctors, therapists, AA, or recovery support centers. Other times that support comes in encouragement to keep doing the next right thing, even when it might be difficult. The important thing is that recovery does not need to be done alone and probably should not be done alone. We need each other, and together we are stronger because we get better together. One of my favorite times of the week comes during our weekly staff meetings. We take time to share successes that we've seen in the lives of people we serve. Hearing staff talk about the ways in which the people we serve have made progress in their lives is an encouragement to all of us and reminds me why we do the work we do at Connect to Recovery. We'd like to share some of that with you. So we've asked a few of our persons served to share some of the victories that they have experienced. So now I invite you to watch a video montage of these individuals as they talk about their recovery journeys and how they have come to understand that we get better together.
Connect to Recovery is a program that helped me through my journey. Just yesterday, I got a year clean, so I want to give a shout out to Megan, Christina, being there, supporting me, and always just checking on me, you know what I mean? They're really good about their job, and I appreciate everything y'all do for me, and yeah, just keep up the good work, because I look forward to being with y'all for a long time. Thank you.
My life has been challenging. I was homeless for 10 years. I became addicted to both heroin and crack cocaine. Plus, I was around violent people. I entered the LOCK program at the Shattuck Hospital, and soon after I was introduced to Roger, a recovery coach from Connect to Recovery. It helped me get my life back in order, and they gave me hope and a new direction. What a difference. Now I have reduced my dependency on my medication and addiction. Plus, I am going to get a new job and get new housing on my own, and I'm blessed to have C2R in my life. Thank you so much.
And the best part about recovery coaches is they don't force you into anything. They don't tell you this is what you have to do. They give you options, and whatever you choose works best for you is what you decide. And they're just there to encourage you and give you the services and basically just kind of hold your hand through things in a way sometimes, like we all kind of need a little bit of help. And I think that recovery coaching is like one of the best ways you can get the help you need.
Hi everyone, my name is Joshua. I've been sober for about a year and 3 months after 35 years of using. I recognized that I needed the help and guidance, and thanks to Connect to Recovery, they were able to connect me with someone that understands where I'm coming from and has actually experienced the life of addiction and sobriety. It has really helped me connect and open up with honesty, as together we find ways to get me out of my addiction and into a life of sobriety. You don't have to do this alone. There's plenty of good people out there to help you get through it and continue to move forward in life to become the best person that you can be.
I just wanted to express my gratitude. Laura has been absolutely amazing. In the time that I've been working with her, not only did she early on, she helped me get caught up with my rent and let me know resources that I would have never been aware of. As my recovery has progressed, she's been amazing in helping me file paperwork to get my license back. She made me aware of a scholarship that I applied for, and now I'm taking classes at Harvard University. To better myself, I run a YouTube and TikTok channel where I post recovery videos every day. She's been an amazing help, helping me find resources for myself, and then also resources that I'm able to share with the recovery community. I don't think I've gotten half as far as I have without Laura's help, and I'm forever grateful.
Drugs, alcohol, and cigarettes are all bad for you. But the worst thing of all is loneliness. There are studies that prove that's true. You need to have people in your lives that care about you and that you care about. That can be friends, family, people from Riverside, or any other organization. The point is, don't go through this alone. We're stronger as a group, so let's stay together and we'll succeed.
Hi, Alicia is my recovery coach, and we got that together.
Powerful. Thank you so much to all of our participants, to all of those who are willing to share their stories with us. And remember, you are not alone. We are truly not alone. This is something that we journey with together. We get better together. But in order to do that, one has to be able to find a community where you feel safe sharing your stories. It is about respect and value. Without that respect and value, why would anyone trust us with their stories? And that really is what Riverside is about. Riverside is all about respecting those who need. And all those in need know they have a home here at Riverside. So I am so grateful to all of the folks who come together to put this together. Connect to Recovery is a remarkable, remarkable process, but it is about that connection. Connect to Recover is also part of our mission. You are not alone. And for those of you out there who are listening and are sharing their stories, you'll see later on how important that is because we get to be a community. We get to share this with each other. You are not alone. You are not alone. We get better together. With that in mind, what I am really honored to do right now is introduce another one of our speakers. And there's some real personal component to this because Kathleen Wright is my chief operating officer for our nonprofit called Drug Story Theater, which I hope some of you already know about, but which I know you will learn about right now. So with that in mind, Kathleen Wright, if you wouldn't mind taking over and letting us know what's going on with Drug Story Theater.
I would love to do that. And I'm hoping that I can get the share option for our webinar today so that I can share our slide deck. Can you hear me, Joe?
I can hear you.
Okay.
Have you got the
I
share?
am now. Yep, I do now.
Aaron
Okay, very good.
Aaron's
Thank
in
you,
behind the
Aaron.
scenes there working us out. Thank you, Aaron.
Thank you. Okay. Let's get this
Oh my
into
gosh, look at that.
slideshow
Look at
show
that.
view. All right, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Joe. I'm Kathleen Wright. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Drug Story Theater, and I'm going to be talking about our program today. So you all know him as Dr. Joseph Schrand, triple board certified psychiatrist and nationally recognized expert on addiction, especially as it pertains to adolescents, as well as the CMO for Riverside Community Care. He's an award-winning writer, radio show host, and lecturer at Harvard Medical School and Boston Children's Hospital. I'm here today to share with you one of his side projects, begun in 2014, a groundbreaking and innovative peer-to-peer treatment and prevention program for adolescents struggling with addiction, Drug Story Theater. Funded primarily by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts BSAS, Dr. Joe took DST from a local to a regional to a Commonwealth-wide program that has performed live for over 65,000 audience members and provided online prevention education to over 200,000 6th through 12th graders. In 2024, Dr. Joe was a SAMHSA Innovation Award finalist for Drug Story Theater. But before all that, Dr. Joe was the two-time Emmy Award winner for his work on PBS's hit series Zoom. Dr. Schrand combined his love of youth theater with his knowledge of adolescent addiction and psychiatry to create Drug Story Theater. DST takes adolescents in the early stages of recovery, teaches them improvisational theater, and helps them craft their own unique stories about their seduction of, addiction to, and recovery from drugs and alcohol. These stories become a play, which is then performed for middle school, high school, and college audiences so that the treatment of one becomes the prevention of many. Today, during Recovery Month, you will meet some of the DST kids who came through Dr. Joe's Castle program or who we are currently working with at Rockdale Recovery High School and Central Mass Collaborative in Worcester. These are not professional actors, but courageous youth willing to share their stories of addiction and recovery. What sets Drug Story Theater apart from other prevention programs is that in between scenes of the play, the DST kids come out of character and describe the brain science behind addiction and why adolescents are at such increased risk for lifelong addiction just because of the way their brains are developing. We know scientifically, the more kids know about their amazing brains, the less likely they are to want to harm them. Drug Story Theater answers the question most asked by students and their parents and guardians. Why do kids become addicted? And to answer that, we need to start with something familiar to all of you who work with Dr. Joe, his unique I am approach, which is grounded in a very simple but powerful belief that everyone wants to feel valued. Think about every person you've ever met. That's the common thread. We just want to feel valued. And this unleashes the power of respect. Instead of judging ourselves and other people as less than and broken, not doing as well as they can, should be doing better, less valuable, the I am is saying, I matter. I am at my maximum potential at every moment in time. The home domain speaks for itself, everything that happens to you in your home. The biological domain is your brain and body. Are you hungry? Are you tired? Are you digesting your lunch? And I'm sorry because I skipped right over the social domain. The social domain is every interaction outside of the home. But the most important domain when it comes to Dr. Joe's I am approach is the I see domain. How do I see myself? But more importantly, how do I think you see me? This is especially important to adolescents and plays a big part in addiction. Think about your first day of middle school, your first day of high school, walking through the crowded hallways. One of your biggest concerns is, what is everyone thinking of me? In all 6 of our plays, you can find a connection to Dr. Joe's I am approach and the I see domain in particular, how adolescents see themselves, but more importantly, how they think others see them, which again boils down to every human being's desire to feel valued. For example, in our middle school play, Second Chances, Emily's real life story begins with the home domain. She gets in a fight with her mother, which seeps into the social domain, making her late for school. And this results in her having to sit by herself at lunch every day. Her I see domain has her convinced that everyone is looking at her and thinks she's a psycho or an emo. She convinces herself that if she could just find drugs, they would see her as cool, as a badass. Instead, she steals Adderall from a friend and the spiral continues. She finds herself addicted in the biological domain where she meets Dr. Joe in rehab. Similar stories play out in every DST play. Drug Story Theater is deeply rooted in this idea that when kids feel valued, they will be less likely to use drugs and alcohol. In fact, we know the #1 indicator of first-time substance abuse is low self-esteem. So how do we help kids with their self-esteem? Dr. Joe always asks for an audience participation moment when we go into schools to perform. Turn to the person next to you and say something nice about them. At first, all the kids think it's corny or silly, but within seconds, everyone in the audience is smiling and laughing. That's oxytocin, the brain chemical of trust. Peer pressure can be positive. Respect leads to value, value leads to trust, and trust is oxytocin, not OxyContin, oxytocin. Oxytocin can break the cycle of addiction. I want to return to that initial question. How do kids become addicted? Why would they try drugs or alcohol? It's not about morality, it's about mortality. It's just the way the brain works. We said earlier we know scientifically that if we can teach kids about how amazing their brains are, they will be less likely to want to harm them. Here's a skit performed by some of our DST kids teaching the brain science like they do in every single one of our plays.
What was that? Addiction.
Want to hear something really scary? Hey, I thought you said no one would scare you out of using. Right, but you gotta check out these numbers. Boring. Stay with me. If you start using drugs or alcohol after the age of 21, 1 in 25 people can get addicted for life. 1 in 25? Yep, but if you start using before the age of 18.
I did.
I did. I did.
I did.
So did I. If you start using drugs or alcohol before the age of 18, that number goes from 1 in 25 to, wanna guess? Who said 1 in 4? You're right.
What? From 1 in 25 to 1 in 4? What's that about?
So glad you asked. The answer starts with this picture. What? A shark? Not just any shark, a great white shark with jaws as wide as a table. Scientists showed this picture to a group of adults and asked, would you swim with the shark? Guess what they said?
What?
No way, it's a shark. Its jaws are as wide as a table. It'll bite me in half. In the adult's brain, this part was working like crazy.
The front part?
Yep, and to get right down to it, everybody put your hand on your forehead. Yep, just like that. Behind there is the prefrontal cortex, a fancy way of saying the front part of your brain. All right, you can put your hands down now.
So that's the part of the brain responsible for thinking,
Yep. For solving a problem? Yep.
for doing something to solve that problem.
Yep. And for anticipating what will happen next. Okay, so what's the big deal about that? Alex, you ask all the best questions. Aw, you make me blush, so answer it already. In a minute. Scientists showed the same exact picture to a group of teenagers and asked, would you swim with that shark? Can you guess what they said? Well, what did they say? Exactly. What? No, they said, well.
It depends. If the water's warm.
If I got a new bathing suit. If my friends are there, I am so swimming with that shark. Are you kidding me? It's a great white shark.
So what the heck is that about?
It's about the brain. Remember this picture? In the teenager's brain, the limbic system was working like crazy. We now know that the limbic system in teenagers is much more in control of the brain than the prefrontal cortex. Before the age of 18, it's pretty much running our brains. So what if the limbic system's running my brain? Alex, how many times have you done something without thinking and then slapped your forehead as if trying to jumpstart your prefrontal cortex? Lots. Yeah, okay, and you too. Yep. And me too. So this, as we get older, our brains get older as well. As they do, the prefrontal cortex begins to take over. Okay, I think I get it. If my limbic system's more in control of my brain, then I was more impulsive.
And I was doing drugs
Without being able to think about the future. Wow. Got it. That explains why 1 out of 4 kids are at risk for addiction. They start using drugs or alcohol without thinking much about the future and what will happen next.
Sounds like what happened to me.
And me. And me.
And me.
And all of us.
Whoa, I need to sit out.
While you do that, let's get back to the story.
So Drug Story Theater has developed an innovative peer-to-peer way of helping to solve the problem of adolescent addiction. We found a way to explain to adolescents why 1 in 4 of them is at risk for lifelong addiction just because of the way the brain is developing. But the influx of fentanyl in drugs kids are finding and using in the course of their teen lives is truly chilling. We are no longer afraid of 1 in 4 developing lifelong addiction. We are terrified that 4 in 4 adolescents can be at risk for fatality. You've all heard of fentanyl and you know it's deadly. Why are we still worried? Because we know that adolescents want 3 things. They want to feel pleasure, they want to be social, and they want to take risks, which is a perfect setup for addiction. It's also the perfect setup for theater. These limbic impulsive responses can override an adolescent's ability to protect themselves. So many of the adolescents we work with know that what fentanyl is, but are not scared of its deadly capabilities. The play you're about to see, Back to Life, is a real-life story written by one of our DST kids, Heather. Dr. Joe has collaborated with Dr. Alex Wally at Boston Medical Center, Dr. Scott Weiner at Brigham and Women's, and Jen Knight-Levine at Safe Coalition to ensure every high school student in the Commonwealth graduates recognizing what an overdose looks like and how to prevent it. This play is a perfect example of how Dr. Joe's Drug Story Theater can use theater to share a peer-to-peer message of prevention to adolescents so the treatment of one becomes the prevention of many. And to show how effective Dr. Joe's Drug Story Theater is, as a prevention education tool. Check out these results. Normally in a live DST show, we'd provide the audience with a blind quiz, which you actually got in that QR code, asking questions about the brain. Then they see a Drug Story Theater show and immediately take the quiz again. Even after seeing just a 20 or 30-minute play, we show remarkable improvements in understanding the adolescent brain. And again, we know the more kids know about their amazing brains, the less likely they will be to harm them. Here's an example of 207 middle schoolers from Brockton before and after seeing a DST play. Amazing improvements in understanding the brain. So without further ado, Drug Story Theater presents Back to Life.
I'm Emily.
I'm Ellen.
I'm Heather.
I'm Caleb.
There's something you need to know about the story we're going to tell.
It's true.
I was there. It was crazy.
We weren't, but we're gonna help tell the story.
We're not here to scare you. Not everyone who uses struggles with substance abuse.
But we have.
In this story, we want you to see and know what we didn't.
Drug Story Theater shows have focused on the limbic system and the prefrontal cortex.
The limbic system is much, much older than the PFC. It's also known as the reptilian brain. It's responsible for feelings, emotions, memory, and it's the side of euphoria felt when using drugs or alcohol.
The PFC is part of our modern brain. The new brain, or neocortex, is responsible for rational thought, assessing a problem, coming up with and executing a plan to solve that problem, and anticipating what will happen next.
Today, we will be exploring a much more ancient part of the brain stem. This is the part of the brain responsible for things that you don't even think about, like breathing or making sure your heart's beating.
In our other shows, we focused on two brain chemicals, dopamine and oxytocin.
All drugs and alcohol force the brain to make dopamine,
Which interferes with oxytocin. Not Oxycontin, oxytocin, the brain chemical of trust.
Today, we'll be focusing on a family of chemicals derived either from plants or made by us, the opiates and opioids.
Opiates are derived from the opium poppy plant, and opiates include morphine and codeine.
And heroin comes from morphine.
Yeah, and check this out. Opioids are man-made drugs like oxycodone,
Oxycontin.
Percocet, and Percodan,
Demerol,
Tramadol, methadone.
Vicodin,
And fentanyl?
yep, and fentanyl.
Hey, I've got a question.
yeah?
Why would we be affected by these drugs at all?
That's a great question.
So,
I have no idea.
I do. The answer lies with an ancient chemical that our brains have been producing for millions and millions of years during our evolution.
Endorphins?
Endorphins. These are chemicals the body releases when it feels pain or stress.
That doesn't sound like too much fun.
But they're released during pleasurable activities such as exercise,
the runner's high.
massage, eating, and, you know.
I think I get it. Opiates and opioids mimic endorphins, suppressing pain.
Right, but also giving us intense and potentially addictive pleasure.
In the limbic system.
But remember that brainstem?
Sure.
The brainstem also has receptor sites for endorphins, opiates, and opioids, and that's where it gets dangerous.
Okay. That's enough information. Let's get to the show.
Let's get to it.
What the heck, Julian? I can't believe you woke me up. You know I have to work tomorrow.
It's gonna be so worth it, Heather.
It better be.
Wake up, we're going to Jamie's house.
Oh God, here we go again.
You ready for round two?
Julian, I was born ready.
That's what I like to hear. We're gonna have fun.
Okay, whatever you say, but I have to be home in time to get ready for work tomorrow.
Heard that before.
I'm being so serious this time. I need to work tomorrow night.
You don't like that job anyway.
I might not like it, but I have to keep this one.
Look on the bright side. If you lose this job, you'll get to hang out with us more.
Doesn't sound like the bright side to me.
You're too funny.
I'm going home before sunrise this time.
No problem. And if you get sleepy, you can always do another line of Coke.
Ha ha ha.
Let's get this party started.
Hey, Julian.
Hi.
What's up?
Julian, manners.
Nah, no worries, man. Help yourself.
Yes! Well, what do we have here? Ooh, my friend Tequila.
Tequila is not your friend, Julian.
No, you're right. Tequila is my best friend.
I thought I was your best friend. Give me that. Shots, anyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you're speaking my language.
Cheers.
Ugh, the first one is always rough.
The second one will be better.
Always is. So, hope you didn't forget that I have to stay awake from all this booze.
Gotta even out the booze.
Few more of those, I'm definitely not going to work tomorrow.
Come on, blow it off. More fun anyways.
Fun? Did somebody say fun? Check this out.
Is that what I think it is?
You bet. My buddy gave me a bunch of ecstasy. You guys want to try it?
Hell yeah, bring it over here.
Who just gives somebody ecstasy?
Okay, I bought it.
Yeah, from who?
I told you, a friend of mine.
I don't know.
What, do you think it's laced?
It could be.
No drugs are safe. But my friend is cool.
Like safety has stopped you before. Come on, Heather.
Yeah, I mean, you're right, but I'm pretty sure I heard people are dying from this stuff, and I'm really not trying to die tonight.
That's only if it's laced with fentanyl. This stuff is clean.
Are you sure?
Duh, why would the guy sell it to her if it had Fetty in it?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Let's do it, but I have to be home in time to get ready for work. Oh my God, the sun is coming out.
That was quick.
I am so getting fired.
I have more ecstasy if you guys want some.
How much?
25 a pill.
What the heck? You do it, I'll do it. No turning back now.
Yeah, we'll grab 2 more.
So glad to see the party still going on. Thanks for waiting for me.
Gary, you're 16 hours late. We did not wait.
Heather, I thought you had work tonight. You're gonna get so fired. You guys look cooked.
Yeah, we haven't slept.
Neither have I. I've been hitting it all night.
Hey, let me get some of that.
All yours, buddy.
These two have been popping X all night.
No way, that stuff's my favorite. Do you have any more?
Got 4 left, 25 a pop.
Give me one of those bad boys.
We'll take 2 more.
Are you serious? We just took another one.
Go big or go home.
Well, I definitely can't go home like this.
Thank you. $75, please.
Thank you, my best friend.
Hey.
On 3. 1, 2, 3.
Whoa, this is intense.
This stuff is crazy. What's it been, like 30 minutes? I am buzzing.
This is awesome. I feel like I'm floating.
Love this feeling.
Whoa. Look at your pupils.
Yo, they're huge.
I look like a demon.
Here, maybe this will make them smaller. Heather. And Julian. And our newcomer.
Is he okay?
Yeah, he's probably just tired.
But he did all that coke.
True.
What are you saying, Heather?
We did a lot of coke too, and we didn't get like that.
He doesn't look so good.
Guys, he's fine. Stop freaking out.
He's barely breathing. What do you mean he's
Oh
fine?
my God, he's turning blue.
What is going on?
He stopped breathing.
What is going on? We need to call the police.
Absolutely not. Do you know how much trouble we'll be
I
in?
don't care. We can't just let him die.
Wait, do you think
What?
No.
maybe his pill had Fetty in it?
Are you kidding me? You said they were clean.
The guy said they were clean.
Well, maybe they weren't.
I'm calling the police.
Wait.
He has no time, Jamie.
My mom gave me Narcan last week.
Narcan? What the hell for?
Better safe than sorry, I guess.
Go get it. Gonna try this. Saw it on TV.
Let me try. I am not gonna do that breathing thing on him.
Got it.
What the heck do you do with that?
Just spray it up his nose.
Spray it up his nose, Jamie, now.
It's not working. I'm calling the police.
Just give it a second.
What the hell? What are you doing? Get off me.
Oh, thank God, we almost lost you, buddy.
You okay?
What the heck are you doing? You ruined my high.
We think your pill was laced.
What?
You were almost dead, man.
What?
I am so sorry, buddy. I had no idea. My friend sold them to me.
What?
Me and Heather were taking them all night.
Yeah, I'll get you some water. Jesus, that could have happened to any of us.
And you would all be. Here, lay down.
I'm so glad you're okay.
What the hell just happened?
What happened? You almost died.
No way. No way. I was just high.
You almost died, man.
Here, drink all of this.
Thanks, Mom.
We should call yours.
She'll be pissed.
Not about you being alive.
I think that you should just go home and get some rest. We all should.
I agree.
All right. Just call her, but don't tell her what just happened. Just I'll tell her later. Just tell her I drank too much.
You really gonna tell her?
You've got to, man.
Just gonna find out.
They always do.
Hi. How are you? Good. This is Gary's friend Heather. He had a little bit too much to drink and he needs someone to come pick him up. He can't drive. We're at Jamie's house. Okay. Yeah, he's fine. Okay. See you soon. She's on her way.
I cannot believe that just happened.
You're so lucky Jamie had that Narcan.
Thank my mom. Oh man, what? Now I gotta tell her I need another one.
You can't tell her why you used it. She'll tell my mom.
You said you were gonna tell her.
I almost just died.
I think we all should have a Narcan on us, especially when we're out partying. You just never know. Gary? You okay? Gary! Gary!
What the hell?
Gary!
I'm calling 911.
I'm Emma.
Oops. So that, every time I see that play, Heather, amazing job writing it. This is a play that we've been performing throughout the Commonwealth for this past year for a number of middle school and high school students and their parents. And the goal of this play is to teach about the deadly dangers of fentanyl and to advocate for using Narcan as a life-saving drug. So at this point, I am going to stop sharing. And I am going to ask Erin if she could possibly put up that QR code. You guys can take the post-show survey, and then I believe we're going to hear from the kids in Drug Story Theater.
Thank you, Kathleen. Thanks for everybody for watching. Yes, if you can scan that QR code and fill in the post-show survey, and we'll get a chance to see how much people have learned. But as you can appreciate, we take this play into middle schools and high schools and now into colleges, and we're doing it for training of nurses and other folks. It is powerful. Narcan is the only medicine that I prescribe that I expect to be diverted. I'm going to just think about that for a moment. I don't want anybody to use any medicine that I prescribe on anyone else other than Narcan. So if I prescribe Narcan, I expect people to use it on somebody else if they have to. And we're really trying to destigmatize the use of Narcan because families will sometimes think, well, you know, if my kid's carrying Narcan, doesn't that mean that they're absolutely going to be around people who are using drugs and alcohol and heroin? And the idea is, no, your kid may go into a restaurant someplace, a McDonald's or somewhere, go into the bathroom, somebody may be unconscious, and they can save a life by using Narcan. And you're going to learn from our kids a little bit more about the use of it. Please continue to write the names of those that we have lost in the chat. We are so honored to be working with all of you, but we understand that there is enormous pain and suffering that happens. So let's just keep putting those names in. Let's do this. I just want to quickly give a quick shout out to Caleb, who's one of our actors there. Caleb is not one of our recovery kids. He's one of our interns who is also a young professional actor. And I just want to also mention real quick about the opioid crisis and how part of this started. Part of it started really was because we, as physicians and prescribers, were not aware of the lethality of many of these medicines. So a lot of this really dates back to around 2007. I just want to give you a quick perspective of this. If you took all those medications that you just learned about from our kids, you know, the Vicodin, the Percocet, the oxycodone, the morphines, all those things, and converted them to Vicodin. We call them Vicodin equivalents. Enough opioid medication in the form of a Vicodin equivalent, enough was prescribed in the United States in 2007 that every single one, every single one of the more than 300 million people in the United States, whether they were newborns or seniors, every single one of them could get 5 milligrams of Vicodin, one pill of Vicodin, every 4 hours for 3 weeks. That is how much of these opioids were overprescribed. Let me just put that into a visual, all right? If you took all that Vicodin, Vicodin is about this big, about 5 or 7 millimeters long. If you took all that Vicodin and stacked it end to end, it would reach from here to the moon and back. That's how much was being prescribed. And that is really where that opioid crisis started. But now, as Kathleen says, it's not just the opioids that are being prescribed, it's the pressed pills, it's the fake pills that people are getting off the street. And many of them are laced with fentanyl and now an even more powerful opioid. So let's just put this in perspective. But we are doing this together now. We are helping each other, and Connect to Recovery is a powerful tool, a powerful platform for people to come and share their stories and know that you are not alone. The kids that you saw in Drug Story Theater also live up to one of my phrases: contribute to society to help with your sobriety. So when these kids are in theaters, live theaters, in auditoriums, in middle schools, high schools, all over, and that audience is listening and then giving them rounds of applause, that audience is producing oxytocin in our kids' brains. Just think about that for a moment. That's how simple it is. You may be with some folks together right now watching this, but even if you're not, at some point today, just say something nice to somebody and see what happens. They smile. You are producing oxytocin in their brains. It's that simple. We can do this together. We can help each other powerfully by treating each other with respect and value and destigmatizing the pathology of substance use and mental health conditions. Because we contributed to that stigma with one word, the word disorder. As soon as you use the word disorder, you separate people into these groups. That group's okay, not so sure about that one. And Connect to Recovery is determined to destigmatize and depathologize substance use. It is not about morality. It is about mortality. It is simply the way the brain is. So I want to give a shout out to Connect to Recovery, but to Riverside as well for supporting the endeavors of helping those in need. So with that in mind, let's move on to the next portion of our show today and talk with some of our kids. Let's do that. Kathleen, how do we want to introduce it? Nicole, you there with some of our kids there?
Hello, yes, hi, I'm Nicole Conlon-McComb. I'm the Executive Director of Drug Story Theater, and I'm here at Rockdale Recovery School out in Worcester with some of the young people that we are working with. And then later on, we're going to get to speak with our alumni cast, some of those that you just saw in the science and also in Back to Life. So I'm going to start out with Nick here. And so Nick, how old were you when you started using?
12.
12 years old. And what did you start with?
Nicotine. From nicotine, I went to marijuana. From marijuana, I did LSD and shrooms, like psychedelics. And then I turned to alcohol, and alcohol was what really killed me.
All right, so from nicotine to marijuana to psychedelics to alcohol. And how old are you now?
17.
17, all right. And we only met a few weeks ago, but what are your first impressions of Drug Story Theater?
I think it's a great way to get involved and, be able to be around people who have similar struggles, but be able to, have a good time, be able to hang out and just have fun and act out some stuff that we know is going to help people and change people's lives.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you. All right, Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat. I started smoking weed when I was 12.
All right, started with weed at the age of 12. And how old are you now? I'm 19. You're 19. And how has drug story theater impacted you? They put me a lot. They put me involved in my sobriety and my recovery in general. You've introduced me to a lot of new supports, stuff to just keep me sober, keep me busy. Okay, yeah. Help keeping you busy, right? That's a good thing. Excellent. All right, thanks so much. So now, Andre. How old were you when you started using?
I was 12 when I started smoking weed.
Okay. Started smoking weed at 12, and how old are you now?
17.
17. And how has drug story theater impacted you?
It has taught me a lot about what drugs do to your brain, what's going on inside your head while you are doing drugs.
That brain science, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, and Luke, how old were you when you started using?
I got high for the first time when I was 12 years old.
All right, and what did you start with?
I started with weed.
How old are you now?
I am now 16.
Okay. And how has drug story theater impacted you?
I think it's given me some hope, because when you make somebody else, when you give something to somebody else, at least for myself, I get something in return. Like I feel better afterwards. So being able to kind of like be in front of a audience and talk about this stuff and it can help them, that makes me more like happy about myself.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much. Well, now I want to turn it over to our alumni cast. I'm going to start out with Heather, again, who wrote Back to Life. Incredible story. So, Heather, you want to run through those questions for me and maybe tell us a little bit about Back to Life?
Yeah, hi, I'm Heather, everyone. The show that you just watched, that is a real life experience of mine. It was my aha moment where I was like, this is not gonna be what I do with my life anymore. I was 11 years old when I started using, and I started with spice. Spice, sort of just like a synthetic marijuana. I am 24 now. What were the other questions?
How has drug story theater impacted you?
Yeah, so without Drug Story Theater, I would not be where I am today. I've been with them for what now, 10 years? 10 years? Yeah, without Drug Story Theater, I wouldn't be where I am. It's impacted my life like I don't know, hugely.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Heather. Let's hear from Melvin.
Hello, everyone. I'm Melvin. I started smoking weed at 14. I'm well, God willing, I'll be 28 next week. Um, Drug Story Theater um has played an important role in my life and my recovery as well. Taught me a lot about me and taught me how to care for myself as well as other people. It's been super helpful. I went through some stuff last year. I lost my father. I reached out, to Drug Story Theater. We all have a group chat, and like we're just a big happy family. This is what we do. We reach out to each other. We check in on each other, and without these guys, I don't know where I'd be right now. So I'm just super grateful for this group. I've been with them. I've been with Drug Story Theater from day one. Back in 2014. I was fresh out of detox. I was, had crazy stage fright, but pulled through, and I'm still here today, and I'm grateful. I'm incredibly grateful for this group.
All right, thanks, Melvin. Alex, tell us a little bit about you, please.
Hey guys, so I'm Alex. I am 23. I started drinking when I was about 6 years old. This was because I had lived in a trap house, so there was already a lot going on, so I was not very much paid attention to. But Drug Story Theater has helped me out so much. I've been with them on and off for about, I'd say like 8 years now, almost. Um, and having that on and off experience, like as I had gotten older, it helped so much knowing that no matter how many times I had left or I had fallen, like I could still get back up and go see the people that had helped me when I first needed help. And now I have been working with you guys. I think this is the longest amount of time that I've stayed. Um, and it's very much going to continue. So I'm so glad to be here. I'm so glad to have this program not only to help me, but to help, the people around us and just our community understand that it it's not just us. There's more people like us out there, and we do have programs to show and guide you to a better path. So I
All
feel
right.
like I'm missing a question, or does that sum it up?
You're good. You're good. Thanks so much, Alex. Thanks for sharing. And I will actually turn it over to Caleb just for a moment. As Dr. Joe mentioned, he's not one of our young people in recovery, but he represents sort of that sober friend, the DD. All right, so Caleb.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I've been working with Drugstore Theater for a number of years now. I started working with them fresh after graduating. And it's been such an honor to work with them all. And also, on top of just hearing everybody's generous stories, it's been very informative, just to how I can better help people around me. My family has a history of addiction, so I was very passionate about helping out with this.
Great. Thank you, Caleb. And Kathleen, I'll turn it back to you.
So I think at this point, we would love to open up to questions, just like we would at a regular Drug Story Theater show, to all the people that are on this video call that might want to ask any of the kids any questions. And so if you'd like to, you can put them into the chat or possibly just unmute and ask your questions. But I know the kids really love to talk, so please don't be shy. Ask them some questions.
Please do, folks. While we're asking the questions, I just wanted to point out the Good Samaritan law real quick, because in the show that you saw that Heather wrote, there was a concern about calling the police. As you guys know, the Good Samaritan law is to protect those who are yelling and yelling for help. If you're at a party and somebody is overdosing, you can call for help. And the Good Samaritan law will protect you. You're not going to get in trouble, but you can save a life. It's the same with Narcan. Learn how to use it, and then you can save a life. It is the simplest thing to use. You basically are just going to take it out of the box. As Emily will say, it's the most difficult part is getting it out of the box. After that happens, you really just spray it up someone's nose. So we're looking in the chat. Here's a question from Christina to everyone. What are you excited about in life that you were not previously on the path to before finding recovery? So what were you excited about in life? Heather, I'm going to put that over to you real quick. What are you excited about in life that you were not previously?
What was I excited about in life that I was not previously?
Yeah,
Let's
what are you
see.
excited about
I
now?
feel like when I was in active addiction, I wasn't excited about anything. I did not care about what happened to me or my life in general. So I want to say, my life has changed drastically. I would say I'm excited just waking up every day, like grateful for just that. I have a lot of cool things going on in my life right now. I just bought my grandmother a house, which is insane. So cool. I'm super excited about that. I'm excited to go to the gym and move my body every day. I'm excited that I have all these animals. I have so many animals. 2 dogs, 2 cats. I love them so much. Um, yeah, I'm excited about everything pretty much every day, just waking up.
Thank you. Nicole, let me pass the next question over to you. You can pick someone. How important is it to have safe emotional release among peers? Ayana wants to know. How important is it to have that emotional release among peers?
Right. Andre, want to take that one on? So basically, like, is it important to be able to share, right?
Yeah, it's important to be able to share because a lot of the times when you don't, when you don't have anybody to share to or anybody to talk to, a lot of emotions get bottled up inside of you, and you don't know how to deal with them or take them on.
Yeah, so getting your feelings out there is really important, right? Instead of just holding them in and so other people can help you kind of regulate that.
Right.
Thank you. Another question from Monica. A statement you find most powerful and empowering to hear or to share. What's the statement that's most powerful to hear and to share regarding recovery? Nicole, you want to pass it to one of your folks there?
Luke, what was that?
I was thinking probably like one day at a time. It's said a lot in NA, as you can see here, but also AA. AA is Alcoholics Anonymous, NA is Narcotics Anonymous. There's a lot of quotes in there, and that's one of them is try to try to take your life one day at a time. I think it's a good quote because it doesn't just apply to substance use, but sometimes you'll be stressing about something that's a month in the future, a year in the future, and well, you can take steps to work for it. I think it's you shouldn't do that to the point it stresses you out, and that's kind of like the message behind it is that can lead you to using substances or doing other other things that might put you in harm or are just not good ideas for your life.
Awesome. Thanks, Luke. All right, Nick, you got one for me?
Mine is, I heard this when I was in detox. If you don't sacrifice for the things you want become the sacrifice. And that was really like touching in a way to me. You know, there are people you want in your life and things you want to accomplish in your life. But if you don't sacrifice the drugs and the alcohol and all those poor people that you were putting yourself around with and the negativeness, you're never gonna be able to do that and you're gonna lose the people that you want that are close to you. So sacrificing just, the drugs and the alcohol for, a much better life with like good friends, good family, and a job and a career and a life rather than, being addicted, having nobody and being alone is a big game changer.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And thank you to all the Drug Story Theater kids and for everything that we're doing. We only have a couple minutes left. So I want to start turning this over to Dan Foley to lead us into our moment of silence. Dan?
Excellent. Yeah, thank you, Dr. Joe. And as Dr. Joe mentioned, my name is Dan Foley, and I am the Assistant Program Director for the Connect to Recovery program here at Riverside Community Care. I think it's important to mention that I'm also a husband, a father, a son, a brother, an uncle, a friend. And I would not be able to truly be any of those things if I weren't a person in long-term recovery for my mental health as well as my substance use. I'd like to take a moment to express my gratitude to all the folks from Drug Story Theater for taking the time to participate and to share with us today, as well as to say thank you to everyone that has chosen to join our recovery celebration. Chances are, if you're joining us today, substance use has touched your life in some capacity. I know for me, being a person in long-term recovery, I am extremely grateful that I even have the opportunity to be here today because throughout my journey, I have come very close to not being here many times. In fact, there are many people in my life that are no longer with us due to their substance use disorder. So now I choose to live my life in a way that honors each and every one of them. I look at celebrations like this one as a way for all of us to find a way to celebrate all of those people that we have lost. We can remember the light and joy that they brought to this world and recognize the fact that their memory lives on through all of us. Throughout the program, we've been asking you to put the names of those that you have lost into the chat. And now I'll ask that we all just take a moment of silence to honor each of them. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Connect to Recovery. That is the silence that so many families are now experiencing. The voices of those lost, but not forgotten. So we do this together. We help each other. No one is alone. But remember, it is together that we build our community. So for everybody, thank you so much for being part of this today. For all of those who have put names in the chat, our thoughts, prayers, comfort with you. And you are not alone either in this silence. I want to thank Riverside. I certainly want to thank Drug Story Theater. I want to thank all of you. For Drug Story Theater, you can reach them at drugstorytheater.org. That's theater with an ER, because so many of our kids wind up there. Again, my appreciation. Thank you, Riverside. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Dan. Thank you for our entire Connect Recovery team. You are not alone, but we cannot do this without you. So thank you all for being part of today's celebration. It's Dr. Schrand signing off. Bye all.